Welcome to the BioStock studio at Medical Village in Lund, where we today have the pleasure to welcome Morten Albrechtsen, who is CEO of Danish FluoGuide. And with us on a link from Denmark, we also have founder and head of scientific advisory board, Andreas Kjaer. I'm going to start talking to you, Morten. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
Could you please start out by telling us shortly what does FluoGuide do?
Yes, at the FluoGuide we maximize surgical outcome, and we do that by lighting up cancer so the surgeon can see it and remove everything the first time. And we do that by injecting a product into the blood vessel before the anesthesia, and during surgery it will be ready and it will bind to the cancer cell. So during surgery the surgeon can see it and they can remove everything. It's benefit, the patient obviously, but it also benefit hospitals and society because it saves reoperation, but also benefit the equipment manufacturers because it enhances benefit that they can get out of their equipment. So everybody seems happy with our product. And we right now are running our first clinical study and have very good preliminary data where we can see that it lights up the cancer and is well tolerated by the patient. And that means that we could be in phase 3 in 12 to 18 months from now and really transform the company.
So you have advanced quite rapidly since your IPO. And FluoGuide is now changing lists actually from Spotlight in Denmark to Nasdaq First North in Sweden. Why are you doing this now, and can you tell us something about this process?
Yeah, we chose to be listed at the first instance because we want to develop the company focusing on doing the best for the company, and that is, in our view, to take our very good technology, get it quickly into patients everywhere in the world and benefit them. So this is what we want to do and why we chose early listing. Why we now changed to the First North is because we completed the first phase successfully. We have developed the product, we have shown that the work is well tolerated, and now our next phase will be much more international, where we should speak with patients, doctors, investors and partners everywhere around in the world. And therefore it's a natural step for us to move on to Nasdaq.
And how does a list change between countries like this work? Is there anything in particular in this process that your shareholders or other investors should know about?
Well, we chose to move into, as you said, the Swedish First North, and that means that our share has to be registered with Euroclear in Sweden. So it was a quite complicated process with 8,000 shareholders, which we have more than 8,000 now actually, and it's very much a manual process for many of the banks. But thanks to very good banks and advisors, and also a very good colleague of mine, Henrik, we have done a really great job. And I think that the process runs smoothly, but that is one of the reasons why we had closed one or two more days than normally, because we want to secure that this process runs smoothly. Unfortunately, it has been a smooth process.
Complicated but still smooth, that's great. And I know that there is more information about this process to be found on your website, FluoGuide's website. And as mentioned before, FluoGuide has had a quite successful journey, not least for the company's shareholders. And with us today on link, like I said earlier, we have one of the founders of the company, Andreas Kjaer, who's also heading the scientific advisory board of FluoGuide. Andreas, can you tell us a bit about FluoGuide's history and the journey that you've done so far to this point?
Yeah, certainly. It has indeed been quite a journey, and it has been very fast. So really started out, the company is founded on the basis of research done by my research group at the University of Copenhagen and Rigshospitalet. And it really started out that we had been working for many years with imaging of a target called UPAR, which is a marker of cancer aggressiveness. And the nice thing about this target is it's really cancer specific, but it's expressed in most types of cancer, so it's not limited to one type of cancer. And since it's an aggressiveness marker and it's particularly expressed at the invasive front of the tumor, we got the idea many years back that why not try to use this for guiding surgeons? If you have a marker of the rim or the edge of the tumor, this would be ideal to guide surgeons. So we did a lot of work on an academic level on developing compounds and doing in particular testing in animal models. And indeed, in these animal models, we had extremely promising results. Actually, we could demonstrate that in half of mice where we did a model that was very like as the surgery would be in humans, with white light, the surgeon overlooked cancer that was left behind. But when then the light was turned out and our technology was used, you could actually also in that half remove the cancer. So this was so promising that we really wanted to push this into human testing. And that needs a lot of funding, and that would not be realistic to do in an academic setting. So that was the really basis for founding the company, to be able to raise money and to get the technology out and help as many cancer patients worldwide as possible. And indeed, as you know, we started out FluoGuide and great collaboration over the time with Morten as a preclinical company, but now we're actually a clinical stage company, and even with promising results, the surgeon do see that cancers light up with this technology. So we are extremely excited. And I would say, in my view, if you don't push things into startups and commercialize it, it's almost unethical. If you sit on a good technology and it only works for your patients locally, I think that's not the way it should be done. It should come out and benefit as many cancer patients as possible. So that's what we're doing now, and that's really the history behind FluoGuide and where it is now.
Thank you. So you've been highly involved in laying the foundation for what FluoGuide is today. Can you tell us something about your role in the company currently? Yeah.
So basically my role is designing, of course, in collaboration with everybody else on the team, the overall direction and research program. And we started out on the preclinical level, but moved very quickly into the current phase 1 study. And the phase 1 study basically is looking at the safety and also finding the optimal dose. We want the cancer to light up, but we don't want to give a very high dose. As little as work good is the dose you want to use. And we have scanned 9 patients right now, very promising, no adverse effects. So we are moving on, and this will probably be concluded depending on what dose we will stop with this summer. Then we will know, hopefully, that it was safe in quite some patients, and what dose we will move forward to. Then from summer and directly after we finish that, we will go into the phase 2 study where we actually look at the efficacy. So we do a comparison of where the tumor lights up and what the pathologists see. So is what lights up actually the tumor tissue? We are pretty convinced it is, but it needs to be proven. So this will be what we do from summer on, and this is a study that will not only be done in Copenhagen but also in Sweden. So that will be a binational study, and expected to be concluded well before year end 21.
Thank you very much for that comprehensive description of your way forward. In conclusion, Morten, is there anything else you want to add to what you are expecting for FluoGuide the upcoming year?
Yes, no, I just wanted to thank you, all the shareholders, for participating on the first part of our journey. And we have had an extraordinary, interesting journey for shareholders. I think that we will have a very interesting shareholders journey also for the future. Maybe not exactly as quick, as fast as we had now, but definitely interesting. We will be transformed into a clinical stage company within the next 12 to 18 months. We will have a very important product with the potential to add a lot of benefit to patients in a smaller indication, but getting fast into the market. And then we will have the result of the more prevalent indication, breast, lung, and colorectal cancer, coming up as well, that will broaden out our basis. So I think that we have a very, very promising future, but we are very excited at FluoGuide and look forward to the journey ahead.
And we look forward to following you and see what you come up with on that journey. I would like to thank you both. Thank you, Morten, and thank you, Andreas, for joining us today.
Thank you.